Hello all, Rosalie here from rosaliesjourney.com, and I have a new moon reading and I wanted to share it with the collective. Take what resonates, leave the rest. This is kind of astrology based. So if you're familiar with astrology, you know your natal chart, you know where your planets are positioned. You're going to resonate with this, and if you're not, it may still resonate with you in some way, shape, or form with what I'm sharing. So the new moon is occurring tomorrow, Sunday, the 18th, on Father's Day, if you're in that side of the world. And some of the cards that came out, I did this beforehand, so I didn't want to waste your time shuffling. The first card that came out was Leo. And the first thing I thought was, where is Leo in your chart? You may have some planets there, you may not have some planets there. Either way, Leo or its energy is asking us to take a look at it during this new moon, or I feel like this is also your time to shine with this new moon, with what is happening for you. That could be why Leo's coming out. So pay attention to where Leo is placed, what house it's placed in, what natal planets are there. At the moment, I do not believe there is no planets there right now, but the energy I'm getting from this is to pay attention to where you're shining, but then mind you, there's the other side to it. Where are you being stubborn, I felt to say, instead of shining for the highest good of all. Now, the other planet that came out was Saturn, and Saturn just went into retrograde. Now, I learned tropical, but at this moment, I follow where the planets are in the sky when I look out in the sky. Right now, Saturn is in Aquarius, and it just went retrograde. So this is going to be a period of time that we are going to be reviewing it can be some harsh lessons, but it may be easy if you've already gathered what you needed to know while Saturn was direct. Now, Saturn does deal with karma if you follow that. This is a time period of justice happening. Things are crumbling in many shapes and forms, partnerships of all kinds. So things that need to fall, let it fall. Do not hang on to it. I feel like that's linked with the stubbornness that Leo wanted to highlight. Mind you, it's not just that. Take all of the attributes of Leo, shining, being loyal, and so forth. But I feel with Saturn being in retrograde right now, it just started. So we're in about, I think it's a 4-month period of going back over some things that we've already experienced, but take a different approach to it, especially because we're in this new moon period. And the new moon is happening, when you look in the sky, it's happening in Gemini. The sun and moon are going to be are in Gemini, the beginning of Gemini too. So pay attention to that. And actually Gemini did come out in the cards, so I'll talk about that in a moment. So just be mindful, Saturn retrograde, some things that may have been difficult experiences that you overcame may be coming back up, just to make sure you got it. Different lessons, because Saturn is all about doing things in steps, making sure you have a solid foundation as well. Do not be afraid of Saturn. Now, there's a lot of, Saturn's so mean, but you know what? Hello. Chico. Saturn, do you want to say hello? Okay. Hello, Chico. Can you get down, please? Come on. Down, please. Thank you. Well, there's his energy there. Saturn wants us to make sure we got it too. Capricorn energy, kinda. Even though Capricorn didn't come out. But look also where Saturn in transit is located in your chart. Hello, Chico. Where is Saturn transiting in your chart? Also pay attention to that house. Saturn is a slow moving planet, so it probably hasn't gone too far. Okay, we just gonna sit here, huh? Okay, that's fine. Thank you for being a part of this recording for the collective. That house is going to be highlighted for you. So pay attention to that. The number 3 came out as well. 3 has to do with many things. Creativity is coming to mind. This new moon, do things differently. You're already being guided that way, I feel. So continue doing things your creative. Okay, Chico's giving me kisses literally on my lips. Pay attention to where your creativity is. I feel like this is connected with the Saturn too, but create differently. You've learned a lot of lessons. You've conquered a lot of levels. Do things differently and creatively. 3, what else do we want to say about 3? Okay, so I'm seeing, you may see like 3 crows, 3 of something. Take that also as a sign of confirmation to go or to do or to be. 3 is significant. 3 of something is like, yes, that is that. 3, when you see 3 of something, I feel to just say that that's a significant identifier for something. No, thank you, Chico. Come on. You want to be held? Okay. Come on. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Okay, you're on my shoulders. You're going to balance. You're going to balance over here. Feminine energy. This is no matter which way you identify, male or female, non-binary. The feminine nature, each of us, no matter which way you identify, have both masculine and feminine attributes within you. So what I'm feeling here is to get in touch with that. I feel like emotions is associated with emotions. Get in touch with your emotions, things that rise up within you. Allow the process. You have to feel the feelings, because not to take them like so seriously all the time, but allow that, I feel like saying, transaction of emotions to do what it does. It flows. Energy, emotions are like water, it moves. So allow it to move through you to get to where you need to get to. It may, once the emotion comes and passes, may bring you to another state of mind or being. But somehow this is also connected with your descendant. Descendant is also associated with the 7th house. So this has to do with your partnerships, platonic, romantic, work, whatever type of partnerships. The descendant, pay attention to what's going on over there right now transitly. If there's anything, they may be guiding you in a new direction. 7th house. But this also has to do with partnerships. Learning lessons from your partnerships with Saturn. Re-reviewing. But then the 4th house also came up. This is a little bit of a different reading because I asked, what are just some signifiers for the collective? This is a little bit different than my normal readings because I'm asking you, or I'm being guided to ask you to look at your natal chart. I wanted to do this different type and let it evolve. So take what resonates, what's going on in your 4th house as well. Pay attention to what's going on with your 4th house. Even what's natally there is what I'm feeling. Review that, because this is also where your IC is. This is where your roots are. This is where, okay, so now I'm getting, because of the roots here, and that's the roots, I think, from an orchid plant. But this is, you know, what you were birthed into, your IC, your 4th house. See if there is anything transiting there for you. But the other feeling I'm getting is gaining what you've learned, what your roots are in your 4th house, and using that during this new moon period, but also during this retrograde period of Saturn, because you will be able to, these are resources within you. Even if you didn't have the best upbringing, you still have gained some gifts, some wisdom, some knowledge on how to do things that you do naturally. So using what is in your fourth house to create new. 3, like I said, has to do with creativity as well. Maybe the feminine nature, creativity with the feminine nature, I can see how those go together. And then maybe using that differently in your partnerships. What's funny is I did some animal cards and ant spirit came out, which ants is all about collaborating. So I feel like, because this is how the cards came out, using your creative power, which is also feminine in nature, with your partnerships, perhaps collaborating differently, but also using your natural resources from your fourth house in that as well. And what I thought was interesting is that the moon came out, which is associated with feminine, but then Gemini also, which the sun and moon are currently in Gemini. When you look at, like a star map or something, but in sidereal astrology or Vedic astrology, this is what's happening. This is where the new moon is occurring in Gemini. But I thought that was interesting. So there's a lot of moon energy, a lot of fire. Leo is also fire energy. Shining bright but differently is what's happening. We're being moved differently. It has to happen. But what was interesting, Gemini, as you know, maybe you don't know, but Gemini has like a dual nature to it, which is how you're seeing depicted with the black and white staircase. Both sides, very mercurial, air sign. Thought process is changing with this moon. That's why they were placed together like this. New thought processes, new emotions occurring with this new moon in Gemini. I feel like saying someone's going to get lit up in a new way. I feel like that's with the Leo energy. Although there's nothing currently in Leo, but it's significant though. But so Leo is with the sun. Oh, that's why. With the sun. But you see how there's like the solar flares. Oh, maybe. Ooh. I feel like solar flares are associated with this. You're being taken on a whole new trajectory. Allow that process to happen. Let go of what's not serving you from the past, but use what you can to create the new future. But what I felt, the last card that came out was full moon. The full moon occurs, so tomorrow's the new moon, but the full moon is occurring on July the 3rd. So this is like a two-week period. There's going to be a lot of changes, which is why I got new moon and full moon. There's going to be some significant changes happening during this period between the new moon and full moon. So pay attention, be patient with yourself. Don't be so boasty. I just heard. So the first animal companion card that came out was koi fish. Koi fish is all about luck and prosperity, and there's always enough. It's very lucky energy here with koi fish. And it has number 3 and 6, 36. So 3, creativity, 6 is balance and harmony. Being creative and balanced with, and I felt to place it here when I did it the first time. There's always enough. Letting go of the scarcity mindset. There's always enough. There's an abundance of money and wealth. Where there's no, anytime, I'm not going to go there. There's always enough. There's always enough. There's always enough. The other one was fox spirit, think on your feet. Felt like that was associated with the Saturn energy being in retrograde. Think on your feet. Be clever. It's number 27. Use your intuitive sense. That was the other thing with feminine, is use your intuitiveness with the feminine energy. Use your natural intuition. With partnerships, they're okay. I just got something. So, like I said, we're in Saturn retrograde period. Just started. Going to be going on for a little bit. The feminine nature, and then with the moon. Feminine and moon has all to do with your intuition. Using your intuition to guide you, to lead you, to take in insights, to decipher, to develop your psychic abilities. With the Leo, there's gonna be more illuminations happening, more intuitive insights with your partnerships. Mind you, this is of all kinds of partnerships and relationships in that way. Business partnerships too. Use your intuition. See what's being illuminated. What you see is what you get with people. Use your intuition. Things are being illuminated. Oh, so think on your feet. Be smart and clever, maneuver quickly. So it's number 27 too, has to do with, like I said, intuition. 7 also has to do with intuition. Also has to do with your magic, the alchemy. It's intuition too, but being clever, being the alchemist is what I keep hearing. Think on your feet and be the alchemist where you need to be. And then embrace the in-between, because we're going from new ways of being. We're letting go of what's no longer serving, always. But the new moon is new beginnings. So embrace the in-between. You're on your way. It's number 26. 2, intuition again. 6, balance, which equals 8. So using your power as well. Embrace the in-between. And then collaborate. Intuitively collaborate. Piece the pieces together of your journey as well. Use your resources with this 4th house. Let the moon and the sun illuminate the new path for you. Talk it out though, I feel like saying with Gemini. Talk it out, communicate clearly. Be clear with your communication. Some people are being triggered when we communicate. Let them misunderstand you, I'm hearing. Just let them misunderstand you. Don't try to defend yourself, because there's also people from the past with Saturn retrograde. Could be old past partnerships with the descendant. 7th house. Saturn with the retrograde may be bringing up some past hurts, but if you've been doing your inner work, listening to your inner dialogue, being mindful of it too, taking in new information, which is also has to do with creativity with number 3. Oh, I forgot to say at the bottom of the deck was number 4, which is also associated with Saturn energy, that firm foundation. Make sure you got that firm foundation. And this next card was Ascendant at the bottom. It's interesting. So when some people rear eyes up, use your intuition. These are your allies, koi fish. There's always an abundance around you. Use your intuition. Think on your feet. Run, dodge if you have to. Embrace the in-between. The new you, the new way of life. You may be in between both the old life and the new life. Embrace the in-between, because you're still gonna get to the other side. It's what you set out for in the first place, incarnating. But when these arise, you can look at both sides if you need to, analyze if you need to, but trust what you're feeling with this feminine energy, with the moon energy. Trust what you're feeling with your intuition. You got this. And remember, there's going to be a lot of changes over the next 2 weeks. from now, the new moon and the full moon. There's going to be some big changes. Embrace the in-between with that. You got this.